Hey yo, what it is, what it do? We back once again, and we got a crazy epic fight. What's the fight? Psst, Hercules and Jack the Ripper. Now, when I say that, sounds ironic as hell. Hercules and Jack the Ripper. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and state it before we say what we gotta say. Jack the Ripper wins, but here's the catch, folks. Here's the catch. Jack the Ripper is fighting for humanity, while Hercules has to fight for the gods. So, this is why I had to state this early because trust me, as you're dumbfounded, we were dumbfounded. We was like, wait, hold up, this don't even make sense. We know Hercules to always fuck with us. So, without further ado, y'all know the whole cast, man. We've been here, we've been rocking. So, look, I started off with this question, and whoever wants to kick it off, y'all kick it off. First initial thoughts when you seen the setup that Hercules was for the gods and we had Jack the Ripper before the fight even started. How did you feel? Whoever wants to start it off.
Confused.
Very
Confused.
confused.
Like,
That's
because if they show the backdrop, right? And like before they show the backdrop, you look at it, it's like you always know the backstory of Hercules being for the people, right? And the plot twist that they put on Hercules' story, bro, it's crazy how it comes full circle because if you look at it, he kind of did what he set out to do, like in the long run, which is it gets super like strange from that point of view when it comes to that, bro. But to root for Jack, at first it's like, yo, how are you gonna justify this? But then it kicks off, bro. Like I rocks with it heavy.
I say my initial thought, I'm gonna be honest, was I was interested in how they depicted Jack the Ripper because Jack the Ripper is one of the first, if not the first, like recorded serial killer. You know what I'm saying? And nobody ever knew who dude was. It could have been a chick. You know what I mean? So I was kind of interested to see how they would depict him. So my initial thoughts was he actually looked pretty dope. That's what I thought like a little Jack the Ripper would look like. That was my first thought. But then when it came down to the who was versus who, I thought it was interesting because uh, you have the person fighting for
Ooh,
humanity
goodness.
is someone that took a bunch of human lives. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
you got the person fighting for the gods whose sole purpose in life is to protect the humans. That was my initial thought. I was just like, this setup right now was crazy because you don't know who to really root for. So that was my initial thought.
For a fact, you didn't like the confusion on who to root for was ridiculous. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a typical hero kind of guy. I love the hero. I like to see the hero win, but to see the ad like the villain that wasn't the villain win
This
is
guy.
Yeah.
like you can't even like you can be mad, but you can't be mad because now humanity has another shot instead
Yo,
of
we
it
got
being
another
the other
dub.
way around.
We got another dub.
There's a reason
And
people turn out to be villains, though.
that's a fact. And just to point out the obvious, the tactical genius, the tactical fucking genius this man Jack the Ripper had throughout the whole fight
Yeah.
legitimately had me mind fucked. Like to
Yeah.
be completely transparent,
Don't worry,
the
bro.
power.
We're gonna get into that. Hold that thought.
hmm
Hold that
hmm
thought.
hmm Yeah.
All right, all
Initial
right, all
thoughts.
right.
Initial. You see, I focused real hard to stay on target with that one. I was like,
We
I
gonna
was like,
get
all right.
into that because this is one of our favorite fights. But look,
Yeah.
just to answer that on my end, my first initial thought was this: we got Jack the Ripper and we got Hercules, and then once I seen who was on what side, my first initial question was: is this a life lesson within who wins the fight, or is this a life lesson within the battle? Because I could tell this is a life lesson some type of way because there's
Mhm.
no way in hell anybody would have advocated for Jack to fight for us and Hercules to fight for
To
that.
fight for the
Don't
gods.
even make sense right now.
Yeah, yeah.
That was my first initial thought. But while we at the topic, because my boy Taz is ready to go. How did y'all feel about the combat styles of both parties, meaning Hercules and Jack the Ripper? How did y'all initially feel? Did they hit them to the T? Did they add a little bit of spice? And just elaborate a little bit more on how you felt about Jack the Ripper, because this is our first time really seeing some type of form of him in action, whether it be history books or anything like that. We don't know anything he's ever done. So it's like, how do y'all feel about that? Of course, Taz, you was going crazy first, so I'll lead it off to you, bro. The floor is yours.
With that being said, Hercules definitely they hit it on the point. They hit it right on the nail. Like the brutish yet smart way that he would fight was great. I thought it was amazing. Now, the way that Jack fought definitely hits historically on the nail. Sly, underhanded, tactical, consistently always you think it's this way, but guess what? You're on the opposite hand now. This is the way that is gonna go. And to say the least, with that, they kept you consistently guessing with Jack. It wasn't until legitimately the last moment where you understood his fighting style. Because I'm not gonna lie, it took me a second because it just wasn't adding up. I'm trying to think, okay, is it in this? Okay, no, is it maybe this? Is it this? Is it his blood? Is it this? Is it. But the way that he kept you guessing, it definitely kept all the way up to standards of how Jack the Ripper would definitely. I personally think Jack the Ripper would fight in a type of style combat like that.
Bro, it was it was interesting to say the least because I thought like Hercules was gonna be more like brute about his fighting style, but the way they gave him like elegance to the labors and the backstory behind that and the toll it takes on him, it just makes for a more impactful story. And it's like at first when Jack pulls out these big ass scissors, it's like oh shit, like he's gonna be one of these, like it's gonna get real anime with it. And it's like as it goes on, like what made me curious was when he wanted the backdrop to be London. Like
Yeah,
that's like some
100%.
strategic. Like why do you? Because he's comfortable there. He knows exactly what it looks like. So it's like he brought Hercules to his world in
Hmm.
every sense of the way. You get what I'm saying? So it's like his precision is the same. And it's gonna sound crazy for me to say this, but the way he used to hunt people is the way he hunted
Yes,
Hercules in this situation. And it's like
exactly right.
it's all about perspective, right? It's about like this is humanity's last hope to actually have a fighting chance in this tournament, and it's like this is the guy, the most hated guy probably on the planet, against one of the folk heroes of all time. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah,
it's just a total like mind fuck. But in the same token, it's like they both play so well off each other that it's like it was such a good story to get caught up in because it's like, yo, this is what gets you hooked, right? Like at this point, it's like, all right, like I gotta go full through with this because there's a lot of shit here. And the like Taz was saying, bro, like when you finally figure out it's the gloves, bro, it's like, yo,
yeah,
where? And then like the dominoes start falling, how he sets traps through the city. It's like, bro, the cerebral attack that he did is almost like Joker level. They made like
yeah.
a Joker
Exactly.
anime to this guy, so it's like they go hard, bro. They go hard.
Yeah,
But I'm not gonna stunt when he did the shit with the blood, bro. That was a wrap for me. I was like, oh,
yeah,
this dude is real.
yeah,
Like this dude is
yeah.
real.
It
Yo,
was
this
wild.
dude is.
Yeah, it was wild. I would say like with the fighting tactics, Hercules. I'm not gonna lie, like that's what I expected. Like what is he's strong, brute
Exactly.
strength. That's what I expected. He's gonna be knocking shit down and punching through shit and all this kind of. That's what I was expecting with Hercules. But with Jack, I didn't know what to expect. Like, I definitely thought some kind of like, smart type, cunning type stuff. But I really didn't know what to expect because I mean, he really didn't even look like much. Like, keep it a stack. He didn't look like much when he came out. You know what I mean? He got the little eyeglass on. You know what I mean? And he got his little purple suit on. Like, he didn't really look like much of anything. And then, so I'm kind of the opposite to you,
For a fact.
Tags. Like, I like going for the bad guy. I like going for the bad guy. Like, that's just the way I like, especially with anime. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But the crazy part is saying that Jack the Ripper is the bad guy is actually wrong because he wasn't the bad guy. He was fighting for us. You know what I mean? Which was crazy. But yeah, back to his fighting style, man. I thought that Jack's fighting style was really interesting. I also like the fact that they used the different colors that he would see the emotions that people had.
That shit went hard, bro.
I
That shit
like
went
Bro.
crazy.
like so his the way he went after Hercules was because he wanted to see that emotion from him. And the more that he would fight with him and the more it would just get brighter and brighter, he's like, yo, like he was trying to get it. Like, I'm like, yo, I need to see it. I'm hunting you to kill you because I gotta see it. So I thought that was dope. Like that
This
whole
motherfucker had a joke on at this point. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
bro,
He said, I'm hunting you because I gotta see it. Like I need to
I
see
gotta see it.
Yo, because
Yo,
he got
it's
so
really
passionate with
crazy.
it, bro.
He
He's
was
like, your color's
passionate.
so beautiful. And it's like, yo,
Yes.
the perspective on that, bro, it's like,
Yeah.
that's next level, dog. Like,
Yeah.
I can tell y'all this. My whole thought of going into it was like, Hercules feels some kind of way because it's like, I know Hercules. He's not feeling this, but he gonna do what he gotta do. So the whole way I'm thinking, it's like, yo, it's Jack the Ripper. I know Hercules. He always trying to get somebody on the side of, yo, you can change. You can. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, how is this about to play out? Like, are we about to take a L? Then you try to give this dude a life lesson? Or can we get a dub out of this? Because in my head, nigga, we losing. Like,
Yeah.
Yo,
Big
bro,
time.
for real.
Big time.
so
Yo, I really got a question real quick for you guys. How do you feel about both of Jack and Hercules, excuse me,
Hercules.
backstory? Hercules,
mind blown,
Hercules
bro.
backstory.
Yeah.
Like, how did seeing it from Hercules' side versus Jack's side, how basically they're kind of like, it's weird. It's weird to say because they're kind of similar.
Well, here's something crazy. I know where you're going with this. This is exactly my first initial thought when I seen them like back to back to back stories. I instantly thought about Naruto and I thought about Naruto and Sasuke. I thought
Yeah.
Hercules
Off rip.
Naruto because he drank something, but instead of getting the fox in you, you got the power within you by drinking it. And then once I seen the eye and he was able to see, I'm like, my son got the shit right. And then Sasuke was tactical. Like, you don't understand. Jack the Ripper seen the Big Ben. He seen the clock and knew it's game time when I get to this clock. My son instantly got hit. Do you know how strategic you have to be to take a whole metal, about 12-foot iron rod to the stomach?
Yeah.
Get out as you was on.
Yo,
But mind you, before you even got to that point, you fell down the tower where Hercules thought he was big and bad. Because your gloves were the power, you sat there, touched the whole building while you was falling. It
Bro, that
split in
was
half,
wild.
and then you turned it into a weapon as it was falling on him. Like what?
like, bro,
Like
the
wait.
amount of
Like when I heard it, I
tactical,
had to run
yo,
it back. I literally grabbed
Yeah,
it
I ran it
and
back
said,
so many
wait.
times.
What? He did what?
Yeah.
That's like I said, that's Sasuke all day, bro. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
basically.
what I took from it the most? It's like, you know how the crowd getting into every fighter, right?
Right.
Y'all notice the drunk lady
Brother.
and how like it's like she had the audacity to say like, oh, nobody ever gave him a chance and shit. But like, you go to his story and she's like one of the main people that like could have saved him type shit.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like on Hercules' standpoint, and like Jack's story's fucked up because he's a kid who really had no shot, right? Like his mom's
Yeah.
stories is messed up. and then everything after he loses her or takes her away, like it's not cool. You get what I'm saying? And then on Hercules' standpoint, it shows you how twisted Zeus really is, right? Because instead of Hercules doing what he wanted to do, which was be a protector for humans, Zeus warped it to where he manipulated it to be like, you're more useful to the humans as one of us up here than down here with them. And then come to fruition, this tournament happens, and you got like the gleaming, shining hope of justice over here in Hercules going after this guy. And it's a weird, like, for an anime, bro, because again, like, it is a regular anime show, like, but it is super intricate the way they push it together, bro. It's like everything connects like full circle, and it's crazy. Bro.
They did it like, look at it like this, right? On the perspective of what you're saying, it's like they took Hercules, they used him. It's like basically, if you look at his backstory to the fight, they used him. You're gonna be the hero of justice. But when it come down to it, if it's gods versus what you try to
you fight for us,
fighting for us because we gave you that power.
Yeah, you fight for us.
Like, you know what? I got a trick for y'all. Remember how I said I wanted to fight for humanity? I know for a fact I could beat him. At any point, Hercules, if he wanted to, if you really want to get down to it, he could have beat Jack the Ripper, bro. But once he's seen how broken Jack the Ripper was, he said, this is my last bout to show humanity I meant what I said all these years. Hercules literally sacrificed himself. And Jack the Ripper knows it. Like, you can't get out of that. Jack the Ripper knows.
He plays off that emotion, right? Like he knows that you can't take it to where he can, because he doesn't look at things literally in black and white. Like, he looks at it with color. So that's the only thing that drives him. You get what I'm saying? So it's crazy, dog. Like, that whole story, like, fuck my whole mantra.
Taz, to answer your questions about those backstories, I thought that, like, seeing where Jack the Ripper came from, theoretically, because again, we don't know who dude is. We don't know what his life is. We don't know none of that. But to see the story that they gave him was pretty dope, man. Because, like, the one thing that was perfect in his life was his mom to him. And then after a situation happened, he saw a color, another emotion that made him feel like that he never felt before. Change to happen, but it could only happen through fear.
For a fact.
It could only happen through fear. So in my mind, I'm like, that would actually be a dope backstory for a killer. Not that I want a backstory for a killer, but that's a dope backstory for a killer.
He said,
let me say something real fast.
He said, fear is the reason why he turned. Would have thought a serial killer turned into a serial killer because of fear.
Yeah, because if you think about it too, you got it real quick. But a lot of these serial killers, they, like, people like that, or like, pedophiles and all them other kind of people, bro. They feed off of that emotion that they make people feel when they're doing those things to people. So like rapists, they get off on the fear that those people have. So that's why I was like, yo, them using that is like real serial killer mentality. Like, that's really what a serial killer would do. And the crazy part is all the humans who Jack the Ripper is fighting for in this moment in time, not what he did back then, Nick, they still wasn't rocking with him. They was booing him. Humanity was booing our fighter.
To say the least, the way that they portrayed Jack the Ripper, and that, like, I'm a history buff, of course. I've watched a lot of Jack the Ripper documentaries, a lot of theories and stuff like that. Because I mean, I want to know, like, is there a way to piece this puzzle together? But the way that Jack the Ripper in our time has done shit, you can't figure that out. Now, there's been so many speculations, so many theories over the years from psychiatrists, theologists, all the different types of, people that study crime and stuff like that. I say Jack was originally an orphan, and he had a mother at the time, because the way that he went about slaughtering these prostitutes, The way that he was slaughtered, there was no mercy within that. So
No.
looking at how certain children are brought up and seeing how their brain can form and stuff like that, if there is no lack of what they showed, love or fake love, because everything was fake, if you know, because his mom really was just doing everything so that she could have her man.
Hmm. Hmm.
It shows how important a mother's love and a father's love
Come on, bro.
is. Like it shows how important and
That shit,
vital that is, because it can
bro, that shit,
like
but it's not
it
funny.
can really yeah, it can really cause a
Nah,
whole
real
type of
talk.
mentality, like of real
Yeah.
serial killers, that
That's
if
real
you've
talk.
seen a lot of people, some come from loving families. We're not gonna there's just something mentally and psychologically wrong with those people. But then there's those that they came from houses that is like, oh, my dad was a drunk and he used to beat my mom all the time, or my
Yeah.
mom was drunk all the time and she used to brand me with cigarettes. Like those are things that create serial killers, and for them to literally put that in the anime,
Literally.
like
Literally.
legitimately put it in the anime, there was no holdback. Like
None.
they showed like how a serial
How a
killer
serial
can
killer
be
is
made.
born. Yes.
So they
Yes,
put the
bro.
human element in it, right? To where,
Yes.
Exactly.
like, even though you might not, it's don't judge a book by its cover type shit. Like,
Yo.
you might not like this guy, but there's a reason he's like this, and like the reason I say the Joker, like I compare him to the Joker, is because the Joker is my favorite supervillain. He's probably everybody's favorite supervillain, right? But the
Facts.
Joker's backstory as to why he is the way he is what brings you into it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For a
And
fact.
Jack's
Yeah.
For a
story
fact.
is,
True.
if you really look at it, Hercules will fight for a person like Jack. You get what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Jack didn't
100%.
have anybody looking him out, like nobody, bro. He was getting jumped in the street. He was getting called names, being subjected to a rat. Like it was bad for homie. You get what I'm saying? So it's like what he did was like you can't defend it, but at the same time you can understand without guidance. Like, and it's even relatable because Taz is bringing it out. Like those are real world problems that kids go through today.
True.
Like kids that
True.
are not looked after and pushed to the side like that grow into these types of situations to where they could be looked at as that. You get what I'm
True.
saying? It's never always black and white. And I feel like the perspective of this episode, especially with him seeing color to shit, it's like it's a different level to this whole series, bro.
Yeah.
Complete different level.
You know,
Dope ass fight.
you know, it's crazy. I like the fact that you keep bringing up the Joker because
Yeah.
in anime, when you see, I know we all felt the same way. As the eye lit up and my son did this,
This
Yo, when he did that, I saw it immediately.
yo
I
I
said,
saw it
so this is,
immediately.
I said, yo, so this is who they based the Joker off of all
Off of.
these years. I said, it
Wild.
perfect sense now. The way he
Yeah.
moved in this anime, then you think about the
Perfect.
Joker, you said
The
he
colors and
was Jack
everything.
Bro,
Ripper.
look at his suit.
His
Look,
suit was purple.
yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
it like a burgundy, like the
It
Joker
was
suit
like
is
a
It
purple,
was like
but
a
like
wine
it was
color
like
burgundy.
a
It
type.
was like a
burgundy, it was
wine
like
kind of color. Yeah.
wine kind of
Yeah, like a
color.
wine kind of color. Yeah, not really purple,
Blood,
but it
like a
was.
blood burgundy, bro.
Like this, his
But
Yeah.
whole
the style is
But the whole
legitimate, like the
style.
style, the hat, the way the hat
Joker.
was, the
Yeah.
overcoat,
Yep.
the
The
actual
vest
like
Yeah.
underneath.
the vest and everything, like
Joker,
Yeah.
everything was legit spot on.
when Joker's on his chill, that's how he move. But then when Joker gets serious,
It's go time.
That's
Yeah.
that.
It's
It
That's
go
that
is.
time.
Japanese not.
bro, when I seen that, I
Yeah.
paused. I said, because at this point, when I was at it, it was no more episodes. That was the last episode at that point. I said, bro, if they don't hurry up with the next
Yeah.
show on my soul, we're gonna have a problem, bro.
Yeah,
Problem. That was OD. So look, with the last couple of minutes, I asked y'all this, right? Can y'all say that this became more so not a fight of Hercules versus Jack the Ripper, but more so a animated version, meaning animated, not DC Marvel version, animated version of Batman versus Joker, anime style. Like that's why I felt about this fight after a while. I seen that said, bro, this is Batman versus the Joker. This is
Damn,
I
that's
ain't think
crazy,
about
bro.
I ain't think about Batman versus Joker. I didn't think about that.
I can see the Joker aspect of it, but if you make Hercules into Bruce, I mean, I guess, but like, even if you take it a step further with Hercules, right? Like, he kind of set out what he wanted to do. He wanted to save humanity. He wanted to be there for humanity, and it's fucked
And
up. But his death is what keeps us closer to surviving.
yeah,
And I think Brunhilde kind of knew that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we haven't really broken down her sketchiness in this whole thing, because she's basically setting up her kin to die, bro.
Yeah.
Realistically, like, she's a Grim Reaper, like, all the way around, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say,
touch on it. Go ahead, Q.
Huh?
Go ahead, Q. I said I knew somebody was going to touch on that, but go ahead.
Oh yeah. The only thing I wanted to tack onto that was when he was talking about like Hercules sacrificing himself and him actually doing what he turned out to do. They even showed you that's what he was going to be willing to do in his backstory, because he would get into fights knowing he was going to lose. Didn't have the strength, but he knew he was going to keep getting back up, and he was going to keep defending people that couldn't defend themselves. So they kind of lined that up. They kind of lined that up for us through his backstory, because he did literally, like what you said, he did what he set out to do. Like, he was always like, I will sacrifice myself for people, for humanity. And that's what he ended up doing in the end. It was actually pretty dope.
That's a fact.
But to be honest, I don't I don't personally see an Aurea like an off, like, just being transparent. I don't see Bruce in Hercules at all.
That's
Only
fair.
reason why, like, I've read a lot of comics. You know how in depth I can go. Bruce does not hold back at all. And Hercules right now is basically the epitome of, I'm holding back so that you can live. Now, the Valkyrie that is pulling all the strings has more of a correlation to Bruce. Reason being is because of how tactful she is, how quick she is willing to dispose of somebody, even though she will cry, which is shown. She will cry in the back of her room by herself, holding in all that mental trauma, which Bruce does. That is the person that I personally think is closest to. Joker, definitely Jack the Ripper, but Hercules is Superman if Superman was regular. Like, honestly, because he's too much of a Boy Scout, if we're really gonna be talking about it.
You know why I say what I say? Because I'm thinking of the analogy, like, you know what I mean? I'm a conspiracy theory, like, head OD, right? So if you put in the factor that, if you like believe in conspiracies, that the Joker was actually Alfred the whole time, would you believe what I'm saying now?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Before we even listen, before we even go over,
look at Ray.
Segment. We will have a special ass segment for that, because I definitely know that comic you're talking about. I've read that comic. I've seen it. I went into detail with it. It's a lot to digest,
and it's crazy.
It's like, yo, that is a whole nother episode. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's like this is off topic, y'all, because look, we at the final minute. It's nothing really much more to say about this episode. So just make sure y'all gear up for next week's episode when we get into almost the final fight of what we got to see so far. This is when we're we got it tied. The next fight you'll have don't worry, I'm not gonna tell you. I gotta wait. See, I thought it was gonna be
bro, what comic is that? Y'all got me stuck on stupid right now. What comic is that?
It's real. It's really real.
Yeah, I will send it to you in a little
bit. Please.
I will find it. I will find it and I will send it to you.
Because you just did that Alfred joint, and I'm like,
hold on. You know, sometimes when you read comics, it'd be like, oh, it's an alternate universe. No, this was like the ending, the real ending to Batman. Like, come to find out, the Joker was actually Alfred, and he hired all these actors that were cool
to
with
play the villains.
play the villains to give Batman a purpose. To give
So
Bruce
basically,
a purpose in his life.
Yo, that would make so much sense
Bruce
though. Next time,
lost
send
his
me that.
mind, bro. Like, there's so much, bro. What? I got
You
you.
know what's crazy? No, all right, next time.
That's crazy. That's
Yo,
crazy.
it's so much. Yo, I'm
Please
telling
send me.
you,
I gotta read that
these
before I go
alternate
down.
version, these alternate shits, and not only that, these ending stories go crazy.
But look,
Okay, bet.
until next time, y'all know what it is. Anime Haven. Stay tuned. Y'all know the cast. We here. It's so much we could get into. But until next time.
Holla at ya.